Hey, yo. This is Boles.tv, BOLES.television. BOLES.tv. Coming to you live and in person, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Well, we've had a very interesting 24 hours. I spend the afternoons sitting here, mulling, panicking. What am I going to talk about tomorrow? And then every day, wake up, come back, sit down, 5:30 in the morning, overwhelmed with all of the possibilities of what we could do. Los Angeles Times gets delivered. Wow. I hear from our friend Alexander in Ukraine with new photos and videos. Wow. And then the time crunch is on. Hurry, 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 hurry. Process video, process video. Hey, it's artist Dora. Back in the old fold. So glad to see you here. Have you seen our latest trick? You can do this yourself, Dora. Exclamation point, typed in chat, followed by DAD, enter, and you get a dad joke. Doctor, I've broken my arm in several places. Doctor, well, don't go to those places. The one I was testing out this morning, that Gordon actually laughed at, was, I've been watching a channel on TV that is strictly just about origami. Of course, it is pay-per-view. Funny. I don't write them. I don't pick them. The Bowls bot finds them. So far, we haven't had a repeat as far as I know, but we haven't used it very much. And so, and Dora, I'm so glad I've been overwhelmed a little bit. I thank you so much for the information about the people who are planting edible things in the street, which is very bizarre, and I don't understand why they're doing it if they have a beautiful house. But I love your undercover recognition and dedication. Gordon says, here's a classic joke. A guy goes to the doctor and says, it hurts my eye when I drink coffee. The doctor says, take out the spoon. Very cute. My favorite, though, as we know, is, what do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? The jokey answer is a stick. But the correct answer, and the funny answer, is from Malka. And the answer is, a boomerang that doesn't come back is a rang. Logical, interesting, funny, gets the joke, writes her own punchline, fabulous. So Dora's doing undercover work, Alexander's doing undercover work, we're all doing undercover work. It's very good. And Dora, I don't know how you feel about fortune cookies, but we had a long conversation yesterday about the viability of eating a fortune cookie. Gordon's mother says no, and then we did a research, and Gordon won by 1,000,000 points. Dora says, not a problem, crazy times. Yes, I will reply to you after the... See, the problem is I read it, and I think, oh gosh, it's so interesting, I have to reply. And then once I read it on Twitter, the DM, it doesn't show me as being active. And then I don't go back. So, totally my fault. Now, the big disappointment this morning is what we were promised yesterday by Twitch is you can set your own categories, your own tags, and have a wonderful time. And we're increasing the tag limit from 5 to 10. Well, I tried it this morning, didn't work. You can't use that tag here. You can't go over 5 tags. So, and this is, I'm using the actual software from the actual Twitch. So I don't know what happened, but it was a little disappointing. Now, the other thing on the menu today, and I say menu loosely, is that I've now, after several years of testing, discovered the most vile food in the world. And can't really think of anything that I haven't liked over my brief lifetime here on Earth. Even when I was non-vegan, there wasn't anything that offended me. There was one guy I knew who took me out to a sushi place 30 years ago and I guess was trying to gross me out. Quail eggs and octopus and, thinking I was from Nebraska. And I just said, well, I'll have another one because I thought it was delicious. Raw eggs, pheasant eggs, all kinds of eggs. I guess he thought I was going to be. Hey, I was raised on Rocky, right? The original Rocky movie. Cracking the raw eggs into the glass, 6 of them? And all the guys my age at that time, that we all did it. We all went home, cracked the eggs, just like that, drank them. We didn't do it very often because it tastes awful. So it's hard to, sort of gross out someone who's born in the Midwest, spent some time on farms. Didn't happen. Oh, Dora loves octopus. It's interesting that they don't want to call it octopus. They want to call it calamari, which I think is very interesting. So the most vile food is. Now, I know some people throw up just by hearing the sound. People, heaving, dry heaving. So I'll try not to do it too much. But the most vile food is really, it's an idea that has been implemented and is now catching steam and power. And that's fine. Because I know some people, it's important for them and for their diet to have this. But for those of us who don't need to have this, why would anybody want to have this? And that one thing is anything that is gluten-free. I've tried probably 5-10 things over the last 2-3 years that are marketed and sold as being gluten-free, and every single one of them are awful. It's like eating sawdust. And I understand there are people in the world who cannot have gluten, and so they are forced to have this terrible imitation of food. And the final straw was this vegan mac and cheese thing that just happened to be gluten-free. And when I saw that, I didn't buy it. When I saw that, I immediately started dry heaving because I knew what it was going to taste like. And sure enough, like eating little pieces of wood. Have you tried the gluten-free bread? Don't do it. It's like eating a brick. It's not soft, fresh from the store, hard as a rock. Doesn't have any chewiness to it. It just like you make a sandwich out of it and the bread crumbles in your mouth. And it is like sawdust trying to swallow it. I understand for some it's a medical necessity, but for the rest of us, please. Hide it. Keep it out of view. Now, Gordon says Dave's Killer Bread is amazing. Now, that's an interesting point because I have come to the hard realization that I have not tried a Dave's Killer Bread that is any good. And I want to like it because I love the logo and I love the name of the bread. But I have quickly discovered that Dave's Killer Bread, any variety that I have tried, and I've tried many of them, and I end up throwing it away. It has some kind of strange gooiness to it. It does not freeze well, and we freeze all of our bread here. It just comes off gummy. That's why when I posted that bread alone thing, a loaf of bread, $10, $20 for 2 loaves of bread, which is ridiculous, but it freezes well. Gordon says, oh, you have to gently toast it. Well, we don't have a toaster, Gordon, because terrible things, as you know, in big cities tend to live in toasters. So if we're toasting anything, we're putting it into the oven, which I can do pretty well, but it tends to dry it out and not really toast it. But maybe that is the key to Dave's Killer Bread is the toasting. We don't have it. Toaster oven even. But see the problem, if you don't clean it every day, there are things that tend to hide in your toaster oven. And we were living in Alphabet City. We learned that the hard way. Middle of the night, things in your toaster. You clean it every day. There are things left anyway. Things moving around in your toaster. And you're just tempted to maybe, start it and see what fries. So you end up taking the toaster at 3 a.m. in the morning and throwing it in the garbage. Not in your apartment. You walk it to the trash room because there's something alive in your toaster. That kind of creeps you out. Hey, it's time for an ad break. Thank you for supporting the stream, which makes me say this, because sometimes people complain. And our new friend from Belgium yesterday, I hope our friend comes back, had a wonderful conversation about French fries and Belgian fries, and, unfortunately, even freedom fries. Oh, Dora says she freezes bread too. Yeah, you have to freeze bread because otherwise, especially where we live, it's very humid. And you don't always eat bread every day because it's not really terrific for you, but it's delicious. And it's hard to make a sandwich without a piece of bread. And the good bread freezes magnificently. You can just pull it out of the freezer, put it on a cookie sheet or something. For 20 minutes, it thaws and it's fresh bread. But not all bread can do that. Gluten-free bread cannot do it. There is no Dave's Big Easy Bread, whatever it's called. What did Gordon call it? Dave's Big Bread. Dave's Bread. Dave's Killer Bread. Does not freeze well. It sticks together. The good bread, when you freeze it, which is almost everything from bread alone, does not stick. The slices do not stick together. You just reach in, pull it out, boom, done. Maybe you warm it up in the oven if you have to. But otherwise, it works very well. But I know we don't have an air fryer, which everybody seems to have. We don't have a toaster oven, which everybody seems to have. We don't have a pizza disc thing that everybody seems to have. I don't know what you call it, a pizza something, marble something. A pizza slate, I don't know what it's called. So now before we go to break, I'm going to bring up an interesting topic. And I say interesting because I've been thinking about it a long time. And I just brought it up to the Jana Marie yesterday to get her take on it because she's interested in psychology and things like that. And her take was different than my take, which is usually what happens. And then I get outvoted and then we do what she wants to do. But her point was interesting. And it was about this and about Reddit and self-harm. There are groups on Reddit, I think one of them is /medical, that are really terrific. /dermatology is another one. If you really want to see some interesting photographs, you have to be over 18, you have to say how old you are, if you're male or female. Those are all requirements or they delete your stuff. And the medical Ask a Doctor is also another one. But these medical subreddits tend to have professionals in them, and they are verified and vetted. And if it says physician, I'm a physician student, nurse practitioner, whatever. So there are good quality people in there. And then there's the rest of us who are there maybe just trying to figure things out or to learn or to say, I'm not a doctor, but I had the same thing. But the thing that I've always found troublesome, especially in the medical group and sometimes dermatology, are the images of self-harm. And these are people who are cutting. And they take photographs and they put them up in the medical section. And they are, arms being slashed, cut. And you can see old wounds and new wounds. And usually the question is, do I need stitches? And then they post 4, 5, 6 photographs of their sliced open arms. And some of them are lightly sliced, and some of them are sliced close to a tendon. You can see a tendon. Some of them are, so they cut through the fat layer. And I've always been concerned about that because to me, as a know-nothing, it seems very self-aggrandizing. They are going there to post these images to freak people out and to get attention and to be told something that they already know because they do this every day. If they need to go to a doctor or not, emergency room or not, if they need stitches or not. And there are some people in that group who say, this is really getting out of hand with these self-harm photographs. It's offensive. They're bloody. Why can't we just take them out of view, make them private, and let the moderators or the doctors or the other people in the Reddit respond to them out of view of the public, because they want the public gross out factor. And there are people who run that subreddit who say, no, they're here for medical help. And medical help doesn't just mean going to the ER, it also means psychological help. And there may be other people who are cutting and who don't know really what's going on or how far to take it, or they don't realize that their cutting is an example of what's going on inside their head. So it is a medical condition. It does deserve to be publicly discussed and debated, whatever, analyzed here in the subreddit. Now, I tend to be on the side of not putting it up there because some days all you get are these self-harm photos. They're very graphic, and it's a little too much. And people tend to say they have cut and paste from the moderators. You know, what's going on with you is more than you just cutting. You need psychological help. Please seek help. If you feel you're in pain, you need to go to a doctor or the emergency room and get some surgery done. Whatever. Your stitches closed. And it's so people often bring it up. This is out of hand. Let's don't do this anymore. And so far, the moderators say, no, we're keeping it in view. And then it gets really interesting. The other day, there was this woman who posted she didn't have her shirt on, but you couldn't see any body parts. And in these medical subreddits, it's very, very graphic. There are penises and vaginas and anuses and eyes, and it's really people who are in trouble, having a hard time. Rashes, hives, blisters, it's all there. But you learn a lot if you pay attention and if the right people answer. And usually the right person, medical professional, does step forward and answer the person and help them, which is always a good and grand thing. Oh, Dora's getting sad. She's bored. Dad joke. I bought shoes from a drug dealer once. I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day. Funny. Dad jokes all day long. Absolutely wonderful. I love it. Keep going. We'll see if we ever get a repeat. Oh my gosh, there's Jana Marie up here. I missed it because I was ranting and raving. Jana Marie said, I think they are screaming for attention. They are asking for help. And that's what she told me last night. She said, that's what's going on. I said, but they're just attention getting. And Jana said, well, they're attention getting sort of in the wrong way. So they need a medical intervention. So Jana agrees with the moderators and the physicians. And I agree with the people who are grossed out by seeing all these young kids really pretty much cutting themselves. Oh, Dora says hi to Jana Marie, sweetheart. So there was this one woman who didn't have a shirt on, but you couldn't see her lower half. But her shoulder up here was clearly dislocated. Then she had a series of bruises across the top of her chest. Some of them were bright red, dark purple, yellow, and green. All across her chest. And she said, I've been to several doctors. I don't know what's going on with my shoulder. Can anybody help me? And a lot of people immediately saying, oh my gosh, you need to go to the emergency room. It looks like your shoulder's dislocated. Do you have a history of this? Have you checked your lymph nodes? Your chest is full of bruises. What are you going to do? And then someone stepped forward and said, well, I checked your posting history, which you can do on Reddit. You click on someone's username, and usually they have their comments, previous comments and posts available that you can take a look at. And that's why I don't say a lot of things on Reddit, because I really don't want to get into the Reddit wars, the conversations, because they tend to go on and sometimes get a little nasty. And this person said to that person with the dislocated shoulder and the bruising across her chest, said, I checked your post history, and it's very clear that you have a serious psychological problem because you repeatedly, in many different subreddits, post images of you hurting yourself, dislocating your shoulder, punching yourself in the chest, scratching your cheek, poking yourself in the eye. And you claim you don't know where this is coming from. People think you're being abused by someone, and then after a conversation, it comes out that, in fact, you have been doing this to yourself. Now, as an observer, I think, okay, that person really needs help. Why have this public conversation to give this person obviously what she wants, which is a public stage of sympathy and empathy and trying to get it all the wrong way? But then there are other people like the Jan Marie who say, no, it's okay. There are people who watch that and say, oh gosh, I'm the same way. Maybe I need to get help because I dislocate my shoulder in the same way. I just think it could be done privately and off board, so you don't give them the attention that they're seeking from a audience who is going to probably be really affected and grossed out. And then in one of these, I think it was the EMS Reddit, and this one's a hard one to get out of your mind. I saw a photograph, and the question was, how would you put this person on your... It's not a tray. I can't even think, because the image is affecting me. On your transport, on your bed that you pick them up and put them in your ambulance. How would you put this person on your stretcher, and in what order? And because these are marked not safe for work, most of these images are, they're blurred, so you have to actually actively click on them to show you the image. And I made the mistake after reading that. In what order would you put this person on your stretcher? I should have known that the image wasn't going to be great. And I clicked on the picture, and I thought to myself immediately, well, that was a mistake. And then I thought, how can this be on Reddit? And it was a gruesome image of a man who had been in a car accident, and he was on the ground, and his entire thigh was ripped open. You could see the bone, and his right foot had been cut off by, I guess, the accident, and was hanging behind his head on the ground. And he was completely mangled and looked not alive to me, but I guess he was alive. So I guess, what would you do? Do you pick up the foot first? Do you close his leg first? Or do you just pick up everything you can, throw it on the stretcher, and put it in and get to the hospital? I don't know. I didn't read what the answer was, because the second I saw it, I said, oh, that was a mistake. Waves of gluten-free nausea coming up watching that. And Dora says, ew. And ew is the right word. So be careful. When people mark things not safe for work, they are doing it for a reason. Not necessarily because you're at work, but because this is something that is sort of gory and you're being warned about it first, which I really do appreciate. And on that note, we're taking our very first blood pressure break of the day. Returning in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv, BOLES.television, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I go on break and I think, oh, I know what we're going to talk about next, which is Ukraine war. But then I think, oh, but there's something else that's interesting. So then I have to go find all my stuff, put it up there, I get ready. And then Gordon says, out of everyone today, I think Malka is having the best day in a fun online class while eating a Star Wars waffle with butter and maple syrup. Delightful. Now, is this a school online thing or is this like a fun online thing? Not that school isn't fun, but... And is her camera on? That's my question. Is she eating in front of the class? Did you bring enough to share? So we're going to talk about the Ukraine war in a moment, but another part of the Ukraine war says it's a school online thing, and of course her camera is on. I asked because a lot of students don't want the camera on. They want to be in class, have the camera off, and then they do what they want to do. So you have to have a rule. If you're in class, your camera's on. But even at the collegiate level, you get students who don't want that. I'm not a child. I could eat my waffle off camera. So we have our friend Alexander, who is in Ukraine, and an NFT artist, and a jeweler in real life. Then we have our other friend, Igba, who is Russian, left Russia because of the war, couldn't get hired, went back to Russia, and is working, doing sculptures. He's sending me one of his sculptures. Every day I get an update from Russian Post on its delivery. First it was going to be delivered in 3 days. The latest is going to be delivered in 6 days. Who knows when it's going to be delivered? But Igba always is concerned with earning money to provide for himself, provide for his family. Alexander is the same thing. And he couldn't make any money when he was out of Russia, but now he's back in Russia. And I guess he's doing better, which probably makes a lot of people feel very relieved, because they don't have to worry about him so much. Although I'm not sure that was the intention that he wanted. So it all started with me seeing him posting this. And this is like the second time he posted it. So I don't know if it didn't go through or it didn't work. Some people are complaining that this verification process doesn't work. But he posts this public tweet that says, I am attesting that this Twitter handle is linked to Tizo's account, meow. And there's the signature. Brr. Okay, weird, right? Why are you posting that? So I asked him on Discord, and he said, well, I'm just experimenting. And this is the Tezos account on Twitter. Tezos is a self-upgradable and energy-efficient proof-of-stake blockchain. So I guess this is like for artists who want to sell their stuff, but on the Tezos service? Now, I noticed yesterday that my favorite chess streamer, Hikaru Nakamura, has this logo and all this T3 stuff, Tezos stuff, on his live stream. So I guess Tezos is spending a lot of money to get the word out. The word out how? About what? Not clear to me. And I asked Igba, and he kind of said, well, it's like a new place where you can do some selling. Not clear to me. So I went to the Tezos website just to see what this whole verification thing is, because I like the idea of people being verified, so you know who you're dealing with on the internet. Now, our friend Igba doesn't want his real name known, what he calls his online personality, because he doesn't want to get in trouble. And he, I guess, sells works of art to help people in need in the war, and he sells it under a different name through a different person. And I think a couple of his artwork pieces have sold for about 1.5 Ethereum each, so he feels like he's doing some good. So that's good. I didn't even know there was an Ethereum thing. So that's interesting to me. And so I went to the Tezos website just to see what this is. And it's like an identity verification thing, I think. But when you click to sign up, you have to verify, I guess, through social media. I think the only one that's available right now is the Twitter. With what Igba did. But you have to use the Tezos wallet in order to verify and do business on the Tezos blockchain. So I didn't do it because I usually use Coinbase wallet. Now I'm using more MetaMask, which is the de facto primo that everybody seems to want. And it didn't make sense with this. I still read it. I logged in. I did not link my account because I didn't know what it was exactly, and I still don't know what it is. But it's interesting, I guess. So, our friend Igba is now on that service. Okay, great. And here's where it gets weird. This again happened this morning at 6 a.m. I'm scrolling through my feed, trying to get rid of all my notifications. Hey, look at this, look at this, look at this, because maybe something's interesting that you can use for the show. Okay, so I did. Oh. And I saw this from Igba. This is the first time I've ever seen him say anything like this. Drop your Tezos NFT. I'm buying? Now, there are a lot of people on Twitter, and we talked about this the other day, who get on there and say, hey, I have 10 Ethereum to spend, so drop your NFTs and I'll buy something. And then a couple of people said, look, those people are just attention getting. They're trying to get followers. They never buy anything. They get, 1,000 replies of NFTs, and then they never buy one of them. And I do see people 3 or 4 or 5 times a day saying, hey, drop your NFT. I'll buy one. What's not selling? Push one link, I'll buy one. And they never buy. So seeing Igba saying, hey, I'm buying, shocked me on 2 levels. First of all, because that's what everybody does, and nobody follows through. And second of all, he has said many times, because of the war, he has no money. And so he is desperate to sell his art. And he posts a lot of his art online. So I replied and said, hey, congratulations. I'm glad to see your financial situation has improved, because I've heard he doesn't have any money. And you are now buying instead of selling. All NFT creators need their collectors. And then he replied, thank you very much, dear David. Yesterday, I collected 6 pieces on Object.com. Now, 6 pieces, average $100 maybe. That's a lot of money if you don't have any money in Russia. For now, I can collect on Tezos. I don't understand why. But in the future, I will start collecting on Ethereum. Now, I guess Tezos is not Polygon and not Ethereum. It's its own thing. I will keep building. And I give back to the community and not just take. So I said, amazing work. Glad to see you're not just creating, but conceiving a critical collection as well. Now, what is this? The 6 pieces he bought on this, Object.com. Largest NFT marketplace on Tezos. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, we went to Tezos and we looked around on their website. I didn't see anything for sale. So maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. There's something going on here, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. So that was interesting information, that our friend Igba is doing better than we expected. Great. Because our friend Alexander, who is actually in the middle of the war, is having a hard time. So here's the latest from Alexander. He sent me videos, which we'll look at in a minute. And he sent me this wonderful series of photographs that I just love seeing because it's fun. Oh, I can't do that. That won't show it. Oh, no. What have I done? Exit. Exit. Okay. So he said, hey, good evening to you. This is 3:14 yesterday, which is 10:14 his time. Good evening to you. We collected 2 cars. And at night, we go to the front. I try to make a video and upload it to you. How are you? And then he sends me these photographs. And this is stuff, I guess, that they've collected for the front. This looks like flour. And what I love about this, and I mentioned this to him and he didn't reply. I said, it's so interesting that your staging area for your supplies and for your war are in a theater. And we've seen photographs, video of this long hall with a stage at the end and all these seats. It's absolutely magnificent. Talk about a staging area, backstage at a stage with the loading docks and the loading doors and in and out. It's really the perfect place. And wasn't it Mariupol, where all the adults and children were hiding in the basement of the theater that was then subsequently bombed by the Russians? It shows that the arts, at least the artistic spaces, are an important part of Ukraine culture. So here they are, right? You see the supplies and all of these stickers on here. What is that? What's a sticker? I'm going to show you. Now I have to change my thing because we're going someplace else. Meow. Okay, now what have I done? Have I lost it? Probably. No, it's over here. Okay. So this is the group. So that's the logo. This is the group, the Facebook group, that is in Ukrainian, but also translatable in English. So they collect money and stuffs through this Facebook group, and then they go buy the stuff, and then they take their logo here, this logo, print it out, and put it on the supplies. So the frontline guys know where the supplies are coming from. I think it's just wonderful. And see here, it's in English. Today, our sorcerers, charity of the organization, volunteer movement, Go Veterans Union of ATO participants, visited our institution. Your help and support is the best gratitude for everyone who defends Ukraine. After all, only together are we able to strengthen our army and get closer to victory. Your nobility and unselfishness allowed to take over some of our concerns. You shared the warmth of your soul, the generosity of your heart. You will always be a welcome guest in our institution. We will win, because we are one. Glory to Ukraine! Heck yeah. More pictures, see? I love how they put their images on the boxes. So hey, if you're interested, here's the group, and when you join the group, they congratulate you. They say, thank you so much for joining our group. I joined as my business page, and I joined as my personal page. Bowls and Script Professor. Ukraine Support Group. Shazam. And this is what's so interesting, that Facebook is connecting people. Our friend Igba cannot connect to Facebook from Russia. It's completely blocked. You can't get in. Not with a VPN. Nothing. Yesterday we had the story about the Nebraska abortion prosecution and how the state of Nebraska sort of lied to Facebook in order to get the messages between a mother and daughter who were seeking a medical abortion so they could be prosecuted. And it appears that they sort of fibbed to Facebook saying this is about a murder and the disposal of a body. And if Facebook had known that this is really trying to track down and prosecute a 17-year-old girl who had an abortion with pills that her mother acquired, the response might have been different. So you take the good with the bad. And as I said yesterday, on this live stream and in the subsequent highlight podcast episode, Facebook really didn't have a choice. They had to comply because it was a lawful order. So if you don't like that, then change the law. Hey, Artist Dora says, thumbs up, baby. Okay, so now we have to go back to our Discord screen. So here's all the fun stuff loaded in the back of the truck. So when you buy an NFT from Alexander, see if I can find Alexander's. Back. So when you buy an NFT from Alexander, all of that money, he tells you, goes right to the stuff you see in the back of his trunk. So this is when he's selling. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are super duper cheap. And he posts links to them. This is a beautiful rainbow that you're going to see exclusively right here on the Bowls TV live stream. I have the video of this. He sent it to me. And he posts pictures of what's going on, images that they're selling. So that is his thing. He is supporting the war effort through the sale of NFTs, which I think is just magnificent. It's the way it should be. Makes NFTs important. Here again is the back of their van that they use, packed. Here are the kids and everyone who's helping. Posted it twice because it's Discord and sometimes you don't know if things go through. And the other day in a video, they had crutches they were putting in the back of the truck. Feminine products, tampons, pads. They had little glasses of milk and formula and yogurt. Lots of bags of potatoes. They need basically everything. And then he said, I also shared with you a beautiful rainbow. And he did. And we're going to now look at the videos from Alexander when we return from our next blood pressure break. And we're back here on Bowls.tv, Monday through Friday, live at 9 a.m. It's BOLES .TV. .television. So now we go back to videos from our friend Alexander and the Ukraine war, and he uploads these to a special folder that I have created for him on Vimeo. And he always asks permission before he uploads anything. And I said, Alexander, it's yours. We have plenty of room. We have plenty of transmittal space. Just put it up there. So now he does. And then I get notified via email, hey, Alexander, upload a new video. And then he tells me on Discord, hey, I just uploaded a new video. So here are the videos. They're very short. They're quite lovely. Now, remember, Alexander is not a professional cinematographer, and that's why I like these, because these are reality checks of what's really going on in Ukraine. And it's just him turning on his camera and showing what's happening. It's not staged. It's not rehearsed. It's life in Ukraine. Here's the first video. Some of these have sound, some of them don't have sound. There's the theater, the backstage area. Yay. Seeing all of our friends, right? Talking stuff up. This is backstage at a Ukraine theater. I just think it's glorious. I love it. I love the architecture. I love the people. Short little video, right? But still fun, informative, helpful. Here's a continuation of the same scene. They're in the same place, same background, trying to figure out what's going on in this crazy world. And the kids are helping. It looks like a puppy dog is also involved in the war effort to save Ukraine. So these are regular, ordinary, terrific people stepping forward into the breach, as they say, in order to fight this terrible war. And here's a brief video of a rainbow that Alexander mentioned. It looks like a double rainbow. That's cool. I do see a double rainbow. Oh, I gotta fix that. Double rainbow. Loading up the cars. So this is what he does most days. He goes, collects supplies, cashes out his NFTs, turns them into things he can buy, puts them in boxes, and sends it to the guys at the front. And he's not buying like really military equipment, maybe some vests, but he's not buying guns or bullets or anything like that. Double rainbow. I love that. Just trying to help the guys survive. And this is what he said this morning. Now, if you take video, always go this way. Always. That's how you get HD. That's how you get good pictures. When you go this way, hard to see, tiny, people get frustrated. So this is our friend Alexander sent to me early this morning, driving in a car 5 kilometers from the Russian front. And he's just showing you the landscape, really not even a landscape, it's devastation of what the Russians have done so far. And they are now in this van, regular commuter van, driving those supplies to the guys at the front. The Ukraine flag on the dashboard. So there you go. That's really terrifying to me, just as an observer, how close the war is to Alexander and his family. I mean, you're driving on a road and everything around you has been shelled and bombed. And the Ukrainians aren't doing it to themselves. And what must it be like to drive on a road that you've driven 100 times? To go do things in your ordinary life. And there, all around you, what you see left is destruction by this invading force. It must really make you very, very angry. And I saw an interesting news report the other day that says that Russia has lost between 60,000 and 80,000 men in the war. Now, that's a big difference. Is it 60 or is it 80? No one can really know for sure. And they're running out of guys to send into the chopping machine. And they need to keep sending young guys into the front to get blown up, I guess. So what is Russia doing? They've run out of young men. Well, this report said they have now gone into the prisons. And they are offering prisoners $3,500 a month to fight in the war. They'll be trained for 2 weeks. Erdistora says, I can't imagine. So sad. It must be awful. And these are just regular agricultural-centered farm people who are under attack. So Russia goes into the prisons and says, we'll pay you $3,500 a month. We'll train you for 2 weeks. If something happens to you, you're killed in action, we will send money to your family. And after you've served for 6 months, you are given amnesty. You don't have to go back to prison. You can just go home. And we'll give you a contract and all that. So there are prisoners who are taking that offer, saying, my goodness, I just have to go, survive for 6 months on the Russian front, and I get to go home. And they even had texts between this guy who said, I'm doing it, and his brother. He said, the guy who was doing it said, don't tell mom because she'll worry. And the brother said, of course we're going to worry. Any news that's bad about Russia, we're going to worry about you. Where are you going? And he said, I don't know, I'm going to train for 2 weeks in some place that began with an R, and then they're sending me somewhere else. I said, well, where is the somewhere else? I don't know yet. I'll let you know. And then as the story continued, of course, there's no $3,500. There's no contract. Once you go for training for 2 weeks, you disappear. You are no longer tracked. You are no longer recorded as to your whereabouts. You just become a part of the Russian machine. And if you die, disappear, don't come back, your family doesn't get anything because you're just a common criminal. Of course that's what they're doing. I'm surprised they even have to ask. I'm surprised they just don't go into the prison and say, hey, you, and you, and you, come this way. And I laugh out of the tragedy of it all because it really is an amazing tragedy. But it shows how desperate the Russians are now. That they're running out of people to kill. in this invasion of Ukraine. But now I guess they're getting Iranian drones to go in there and shoot at Ukrainians. And winter is coming. It's going to be very interesting. Is Russia just going to lock down, hold where they are? They're going to try to press forward. I don't think that Putin has the money or the people or the supplies to fight in snow and cold weather. I think he'll kill more people than he will win land. But what do I know? You're dealing with a madman who doesn't care about anything. So it's going to be very interesting. I guess the Ukraine successfully bombed an airbase in Russia, finally, and blew up airplanes and destroyed some kind of power plant that was nearby. So that's good. But can they keep it up? You have a madman like Donald Trump who's taking over all the headlines, and it's just so weary. And how the law and order crew is now defund the FBI is just so really, honestly hilarious that you can't even stand to take them seriously. And yet they take themselves very seriously. And the warning that they send is, oh, look out. We are the party of persecution. When we're in power, we persecute all of you. But when we're out of power, you're attacking us. You're persecuting us. So therefore, we have the right to protect ourselves from your persecution, which means we can use guns, violence, threats, name-calling, whatever we want, because you're coming after us. Not that we're paranoid or anything. And as I said, the king persecuted of all time. The professional victim in all of this is Donald J. Trump. Everybody's out to get him. And all of his sycophants believe him. It's just absolutely wildly unbelievable. But there was also an interesting article that plopped into my inbox from the Los Angeles Times that I just found so delightful and so interesting and right on point. The title of the article is, "The Goopification of Wellness is on the way out." You can thank Generation Z. I don't even know who Generation Z is. I have a feeling it's the young people who are taking classes and eating waffles. I think that's Generation Z. I don't know, though. I don't know much about anything, really. I didn't even know what Generation X or Y is. I think I'm part of the unnamed generation because I'm not a boomer, but I'm what comes after a boomer, which I guess is a rang. Oh, sweet. I'm the rang generation, the leftover, that didn't come back, the stick. And Goop, if you know, is Gwyneth Paltrow's company thing. And it's just grotesque. The whole thing, I think, has just been a big joke on America. Much like the Kardashians, big joke on America. They don't even live in the houses that you see them on television. They rent out the houses. And they pretend that they're successful, and people believe them because they're on television. And the height of the ridiculousness of Gwyneth Paltrow was during the Super Bowl for an Uber Eats commercial, right? Remember that? And she, at that time, was selling a candle that smelled like a woman's vagina, whatever that is. I didn't know it was a common smell. I thought everybody sort of had their own muskiness. But I guess they figured it out. And the big joke was not that it was a candle that smelled like a vagina, but it was a candle that smelled like a vagina being delivered to Gwyneth Paltrow, who invented it, and she was eating the candle because it was Uber Eats. That was their whole ad campaign for quite a while, is we're delivering not just food, but paper towels and pillowcases. And they would show famous people eating inedible things. Hilarious, right? It's very revolting. So the Los Angeles Times says, hey, the new Cheese Puff snack brand F-Ups, I don't know what this is, stresses that they are not a better-for-you alternative. They make no promise of rejuvenated digestion, extra nutrients, or plant-based goodness, oh no. These unapologetically indulgent puffs are just tasty things for your mouth. Oh, here we go. Gordon's actually answering me. Chaim is Generation Z. Malka is Generation Alpha. Do you have documentation for this? I need proof. At least a photo ID. Gordon continues. I'm General X. Elizabeth is technically a millennial, formerly called Gen Y. Elizabeth the artist, formerly known as Gen Y. How does she change? She's either one or the other. You'll have to explain this to me, Gordon, with footnotes. If you're worried about F-ups, I guess it's short for F-ups, the F word, ups, being healthy, you're on the wrong website. Reads the blunt marketing copy. Go eat some carrots. Well, here we go. Here are the F-ups, which I sort of think is fun. Why not? Hey, F-ups, it's like puffs, backward but wrong. Puffs, F-ups. Okay, backward but wrong. Okay. What is an F-up? Edible swim noodle. A great way to spend time. This is funky. Not my generation, but I get it. Whoops. We have 5 tasty flavors to choose from, all in hilariously big bags. Tasty tubes. Not healthy. Grocery store cheddar. Okay, funny. Instant hot chocolate. Not healthy. Love that. Fun. Not healthy. Haha. Professional salt and vinegar. Tasty tubes. F-ups. These are like Trader Joe Bombas, but the wrong side of history. Semi-historic. Sour cream and onion. Not healthy. Tasty tubes. Not healthy. Ambiguous cinnamon toast. Okay, I get it. Funny. And if you can't pick one flavor, pick 2. And build your own 12-pack. Fun. I like it. So they're saying we're F-ups. So unhealthy, I bought 15 bags for my family and friends. The bags were huge. I get it. We're done with being healthy. And we just want to go for the grossness. Please dress me. Now this is fun. Very Disney-like. What would I do with a shoe? The shoe doesn't want to be on the shoe. Cute. I like that. Interactive. Feelings. That changed the expression. Very cute. Background. Sky. Oh, look at that. Windows 95. Very cute. How to eat F-ups. Empty your mouth. Add the F-up. No chewing involved, I guess. They melt in your mouth. I hope they're not gluten-free. Give us your email. Very tempted to type something in there. Maybe I will, just to see what happens. It's research, right? Boom. Hit me. All signed up, thanks. I like it. I like the tone. Funny, cute. I get it. Back to the article. A new generation of brands rejecting aggressive health marketing claims, which have begun to feel like Mad Libs, which we just saw, of every nutrient under the sun. Oh, Gordon says it's all based on what year you're born, I guess. Well, that's what I'm saying, Gordon. Elizabeth wasn't born 2 different years, so she's either one or the other. She can't be both. Said I, knowing nothing. Generationless. Baby boomers born between 46 and 64. See, Jana Marie Sweetheart, not being revelatory or anything, is a baby boomer. Me, meow, born between 1965 and 1976. Okay. Millennials, born between 77 and 97. Jen, 2020, born after 1997. So I guess I'm Generation X. Okay. It's better than not knowing, I think. Mad libs of every nutrient under the sun. Consumers were bombarded with charcoal-infused cheddar cheese and vegetable ice cream. It's good for immunity. What? How could it be? Well, here we go. This will make you grin. And I don't really understand this. I think this is serious, but I don't know why. And it appears to be British. If I'm being honest, it looks a little bit gross. Charcoal cheddar cheese. Waxed truckle. I don't know what a truckle is. 200 grams. $5. Now, I think this is a joke, but I don't think it is a joke. It's supposed to be this healthy thing that the F-ups are making fun of. Starting as mature cheddar, it is then blended with activated charcoal to produce a naturally smooth, black-colored cheese with a rich and creamy taste. It sounds so wrong, but it tastes so good. And it's meant to be good for you, too. New charcoal cheese. Cheese is here to create some fireworks. Activated charcoal is receiving rave reviews at the moment for its ability to help remove harmful toxins from your body. Well, that is just a whole bunch of baloney. I thought they were going to make a joke, because cheese can make you fart. So they could activated charcoal, your farts will have no smell if you eat this cheese. Cutting the cheese takes on a whole new meaning. But they didn't go for that joke. And we know why. Because they're British, if I'm being honest. We have more photographs. Okay. Cheshire Cheese Company. Charcoal cheddar. I think this is a joke site. I really do. But it's not. Hey! Peekaboo! Veggie full ice cream. Ice cream that's good for you. Peekaboo, ice cream and hidden veggies. It reminds me of those imitation chicken finger things that they were trying to sell kids that were made from broccoli and vegetables. I thought it was genius and delicious, but I can understand a child would feel tricked. You wouldn't want to do that. Shop. First time purchase? Meow. How can I resist? It's all research. This is already a spam account that gets thousands of spam emails a day. Peekaboo, thank you for signing up. You're welcome. Updated Peekaboo brand video. Sorry we can't watch it because it's on YouTube. Here's a secret. More green stuff. Less yucky stuff. No F-ups in here. Less judgy stuff. More goodness. I love the idea of having vegetable ice cream. Vegan cotton candy with hidden beets. It's cute. You could make a game out of it. Find the beets in your ice cream. So that is how the stage is set. And when we return from our final blood pressure break, we're going to go a little bit deeper into what's coming up next. Returning in a moment. And we're back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv, BOLES.television. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And hey, while we're on break, we have a new follower, a name which I'm not going to pronounce, because I might not pronounce it quite correctly, and I might get botted by my own Bowles bot. But thank you for being here. We'd love to hear from you, where you're from, what are you thinking, what's the weather like? Here in New York City area, the day started very ugly. Dark, rainy. Now it's a little bit of sunshine outside. Currently, 75 degrees and partly sunny skies. So, finishing up our story, Gen Z between 9 and 24 years old. The newest generation, the hottest generation out there. Born between 1997 and 20 and 12. There are currently between 9 and 24 years old. Almost 68 million of you out there. Gen Z is very outspoken about imperfection as a counter to the millennial generation that wanted everything to be and look perfect. Brands like rotten gummy worms, which lean into a gross and messy aesthetic. What you see is the rejection of the girl boss and stuff like that. Everything that has to do with trying to appear a certain way. And artist Dora says, from somewhere in the mysterious New York City area, it's still warm and muggy. I thought cooler weather was coming our way. I know. It's icky out there. Sticky. Speaking of icky and sticky, hey, look, it's rotten, sickeningly delicious gummy worms. You thought F-ups were fun. Wait till you test. Wait till you test a rotten gummy worm. This is not my generation, but this is my sense of humor. I like it. I would like to have all of these. Rotten gummy worm. But see, I come from the age of Garbage Pail Kids, right? Those stickers. Oh, now those were funny. I used to put those stickers on the door of my bedroom, and the door was wooden, and the stickers didn't come off. So you can imagine the trouble I was in. And they were the, at that time, cheap kind of paper stickers, not plastic. So when they didn't come off, it was, white paper left behind. Very ugly. Hard to clean. Garbage Pail Kids. Funny. Whiz Kid William peeing all over his school books. Leaky Lindsay. Snotty Runny Nose. These were fun. A lot of fun. Memories hurt. So back to the rotten gummy bears. Patience not your thing. Limited collection merch. Original gummy worms. They're rotten. All kinds of mango, raspberry, strawberry, watermelon. I think it's fun. I guess it's like those Sour Patch Kids commercials you see. First they're mean and then they're nice, something like that. Sour and sweet. Fun. Looks fun. I'll take 2. In May, Goop, remember Vagina Candle Goop, announced a $120 luxury diapers lined with virgin alpaca wool. Now, the non-virgin wool is just very slutty, and I'm sure it's filled with monkeypox. And no baby wants that. Diapers lined with virgin alpaca wool and infused with a floral jasmine scent. They were held together with emotional cleansing crystals. I would love to see Gwyneth Paltrow eat one of her luxury diapers. and clean her teeth with the cleansing crystals. Now, is it a joke? Is it a put on? The Goop people tended to take things very seriously. Goop isn't the whole of wellness, though presumably its most infamous brand. The company's arsenal of head-scratching products, from Vaginal Jade eggs. Do you remember those? You would buy this jade egg, put it up there, and leave it there all day. And I guess the effort of holding that piece of jade egg inside you was, I guess, like the ultimate Kegel exercise. Let's hope it doesn't drop out during a business meeting. Oh, what's that on the floor? Oh, it's my jade vaginal egg. I just... From vaginal jade eggs to psychic vampire repellents. I can't take them seriously, I'm sorry. By now, we've hit the sensationalism fatigue. Very true. Many consumers feel like hoarders. They just crave simplicity and efficacy, right? Take activated charcoal, the Instagrammable ingredient that infiltrated everything from toothpaste to skincare. Tom's toothpaste even had activated charcoal. I loved it. It made your whole mouth, teeth, tongue black. And if you didn't clean your mouth properly, you had these big black things in the corner of your mouth. I thought it was terrific, hilarious. The Jana Marie was not a fan. Artist Dora said she loved those, and I hope she's not talking about the vaginal jade egg. I'm a little behind, so I'm not exactly sure what she's referring to. Yarden says beauty shoppers are much more concerned with aesthetics, like bold makeup, than wellness. Following pandemic lockdowns, people might be more eager to get out and look good. That makes sense. Truth in advertising. One person who had trouble with gallstones got involved with celery juice, drank it all, didn't make any difference, had to have surgery. This person said, well, you know what? I'm going to stick with Western medicine. I'm going to have a surgical intervention. Dr. Danielle Bellardo is a cardiologist and influencer who hosts a podcast called Wellness, Fact versus Fiction, where she debunks popularized health trends such as carnivore diet supplements. What do you say? What does that mean? Well, here you go. I'm not signing up for this. The most nutrient-rich supplements on the planet. Capsules made from nutrient-rich natural organs that provide everything your body needs for optimal health. I guess this is all the alleged benefits of eating meat without actually eating anything. Made from treasured organs. Oh boy. Which body part would you put on the stretcher first? Grass-fed, grass-finished, and better for you. Organs are the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. It's hard to read. Warrior. Beef organs. What are the others? Oh my goodness. Firestarter, mood brain, whole package, histamine and immunity, lifeblood, bone and liver, gut digestion, bone matrix, oh, we're still going, immunomilk, skin and nails, her package. Isn't that funny? Usually I think it's his package, but his package becomes her package. Nah. Vitality, strength, and vigor. Become the bull you were never meant to be. It's good for you and the planet. None of the animal goes to waste. We send all the meat, the good cuts, to all the people in Beverly Hills, New York City. And we leave you the organs. Blech. But okay, we're researching. Analysts also partially credit the skepticism, yes, of older Gen Zers, a group raised by practical Gen X parents. They are less likely to take extreme claims at face value and more interested in scientific research. This generation that has a real need for safety, noting they both experienced global recession and the pandemic during their formative years. That is very interesting. These are kids who have been raised in a pandemic. I thought it was very interesting. One of the major university actor training programs have had in place for 2 years a mask mandate. When you act, you must wear your mask in class and in performance. And they've been doing that for 2 years, right? And you're allowed to take your mask off for one rehearsal period of 30 minutes and then perform your final project without your mask. But otherwise, everything else you do in class, on stage, and production, you're wearing a mask. Oh, Artist Door says, I love the Cabbage Patch Kids. That should teach me to complete a whole sentence. That's a good point. The Cabbage Patch Kids are cute, but I'm talking about the Garbage Pail Kids, which were kind of a take on the Cabbage Patch Kids. Jana Marie says, I appreciate him. I guess she means Alexander, sending pictures and videos to share with us. Absolutely right. Completely agree. Artist Door says, that what happens when I'm multitasking. Exactly. We all get mixed up. So these actors for 2 years have been wearing masks because of COVID. Makes sense, right? And now, with the rise of monkeypox, these students are saying, can you imagine what's going to happen? Monkeypox is going to get worse and worse and worse. They're going to make us continue to wear masks and maybe gloves for the next 2 years. And you're going to have students graduating from a major acting training program who for 2 years have had to wear a mask in performance, and now the last 2 years wear gloves. A 4-year diploma, a 4-year program where they never showed their face. It's terrible but true. Most vulnerable populations, including cancer patients, the elderly, and parents of children with special needs, have increasingly been targeted. They tend not to exhibit as much skepticism because they are desperate in looking for any sort of hope. And that's our story of the day. Gwyneth Paltrow and her goop, not popular with the kids. Finally, things are changing. More logic and rationality and science are maybe slowly making their way into the national mindset. Oh, we had a wonderful show today. Shared videos, photos from Alexander, talked about goop. Talked about the horribleness of anything that's gluten-free. We badmouthed the Big Dave bread, and we celebrated bread alone. Talked about Reddit, self-harm, and the lack of tags that Twitch promised us 2 days ago. Commissioner Gordon says, signing off from Winter Garden, Florida, thanks for having us. The bot replies, oops, see, I did it again. The bot replies, this. Almost typed dad. Ugh. Still got to run. This is bothering me. Put this back. No, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Here we go. Okay. Day. See you in a day or two, and I'll have more ideas for you. And now we will do a dad joke because I messed it up. Breaking news. Energizer Bunny arrested. Charged with battery. That's not really a joke for kids, though. That's a little too rough. Don't beat up people just for the sake of a punchline. If you have any questions or comments, you can find me, David, at bowls.tv. If you have any questions or comments for the lovely and talented Jana Marie Sweetheart, you can email her, jana@bowls.tv. On Twitter, @David Bowles, super follows to follow. On Facebook, BOLES. Instagram is Bowles Books. TikTok, Bowles TV. And if you want to join our terrific Discord server, where we're having all the fun 24 hours a day, there you go. Bye, Artist Dora. Nice to see you. So until tomorrow, may you have a wonderful sleep, a great day, a nice nap. And when ye shall awaken, may your soul be filled with joy and not one little bit of gluten. I'll see you tomorrow.